When you think about how tools shape thought, it's not so hard really to appreciate that if you were a sculptor with a block of wood in front of you and you had a chisel, you'd think about the wood and the possibilities of the wood differently than if you had a saw or you had a knife to whittle with. The tools we have affect the way we see things, and the tools we have affect the way we conceptualize things.
We've sort of entered this cognitive era where it's not just human cognition, but it's also machine cognition. And we're very curious about how the tools, when they start to have machine learning, when they start to have this kind of ability to almost be a teammate, how that changes the way you think and how you learn.
The Bartlett gave us a great opportunity to perform a naturalistic experiment about how working with sophisticated design tools like Autodesk's Fusion 360 and Dreamcatcher, how those sophisticated tools reshape the way people think.
We're running a pilot for a study. We have computational architects and designers doing particular tasks in a traditional CAD tool, a computer-aided design tool. And then we're also having them do a little bit of an experiment around a new kind of tool that's called generative design. And with generative design, instead of defining the lines and the curves and the shapes, you define the forces and the obstacles and the constraints. It's sort of more about thinking about the negative space of a design. You think about the goals and the competing goals, and then the computer generates a lot of things. So it's a little bit more like collaboration or improvisation.
And I think what is interesting with these tools is that you can think above and beyond how this thing looks or what it should look like. You can start thinking in terms of the forces applying on that object. What are the constraints that drive the necessity of this object being that way or another? And therefore you don't come with an idea of a chair is a chair and a table is a table. You come with an idea of an object where I could sit or I can put stuff on, and that it needs to act upon certain forces and upon certain constraints. And that completely liberates you in terms of how you think of that object and how that object should look like. By allowing the constraints to liberate you, you're allowing for the design process itself to be more creative.
This whole idea can renovate how the industry can think about design. What is going to be the future and what we're trying to investigate now is the creative process. The process by which you design, what are the dimensions that I'm going to use, which one of them is more important than the other. What is that influences design now that's going to be my criteria for the future. This is still what we're missing. This is why what we're doing here and now can change a lot of things. It has been such a great opportunity not only to come here and test this amazing tool, but also to meet a lot of very interesting people from different backgrounds, studying and working here in London and from all over the world actually.